And I heard about this Jewish funeral. Then when the body was being lowered to the ground, the widow put a little wooden box on top of the coffin. So the good friend asked her, said, what's that? I said, well, my husband actually last wish was that he wanted to be buried with all his savings. And then the friend said, come on, are you telling me that you put all his money there? So of course I did. I'm a good Jew. I wrote a check. I want to talk to you today about before death. And of course, the title of this sermon is I'm playing the words with the name of the parsha, which is Achrei Mot, which is after death. Which is interesting because there is a little midrash there that the rabbi seems to read into the words of the 3 Torah readings that happened this week, next week, and the week after. That is Achrei Mot, after death. Next week is Kedoshim, holy. And the next one is Emor, you will say. And they kind of see there the way life goes, where after somebody died, everybody say how holy the person was. Achrei Mot, Kedoshim, Emor. After a person died, say how holy he or she was, right? But the thing is that I have time to reflect about that during the last couple of weeks because we had an unusually large number of funerals in the city. And I did lots of them. And usually when I either prepare a eulogy or I listen to the eulogies, it could be a very powerful experience because the eulogies has the potential, at least, to make us reflect about our own mortality. The eulogy reminds us that our time in this world is very limited, and we have limited time and limited resources to fulfill with our work, with our mission in this world. But at the same time, I realized that Judaism is never obsessed with the after death. Of course, we study, we try to understand, but we are not obsessed with the after death. And this kind of philosophy, this kind of contrast between the philosophy of being obsessed with death and after death versus the Jewish philosophy was very clear, for example, during Passover, when we have the opportunity to reflect and to compare Jewish philosophy with Egyptian philosophy. And we know in these days how obsessed Egypt was with death and the after death, to the fact that many people just basically lived to prepare for their death, building pyramids and other things. While Judaism, if it's obsessed into something, I would say Judaism is obsessed with the right here, right now. It's not so much about Achrei Mot. It's not so much after death, but we're obsessed with Lifnei Mot, before we die. What do we do with our time here on this earth? What do we do with that limited time and limited resources that we do? Well, that's an excellent thing, an excellent question. Because we all know that we have to use our time and our resources the best we can to achieve our divine mission. Now, how do we do that? Because I would say if I ask each one of you, you're probably aware that there are so many things, so much that you can do in this world. But what is the Jewish formula to actually remain strong, right? Because that's the thing. We know what we want to do. We have plans. We have a vision. I love that word. We have a vision. We can visualize what we want to do. But then, you know what happened? Life happens. And then that vision gets diluted. We get discouraged for things that happen, bumps in the road. And it's difficult. It's difficult to keep moving forward. And it's difficult to remain committed to that vision and to remain committed to everything that we want to do. So what is the Jewish formula? Well, I believe the answer is quite easy, but sometimes challenging at the same time. And the Jewish way is we never do it alone. We never do it alone. We either involve our family, our friends, or our community into joining us or ourselves joining others into helping ourselves and supporting ourselves to fulfill our divine destiny. Let me give you an example of why I say this. I have to go all the way back to the beginning of the Jewish nation. Let's go back to Abraham. Abraham had a great idea. Abraham had a great vision, to the point that God said to Abraham, Abraham, get out from where you are. You have no future there. You live in a toxic place. I'm going to take you to a new place where you have better opportunities, better resources, better chances to fulfill your vision. So Abraham left his hometown, but he didn't live alone. Of course, he left with his wife, with Sarah. But he also left with his nephew, Lot. And the rabbis will say that Lot had the same vision of Abraham. That's why he went with him. Lot believed in what Abraham believed. Lot had similar plans for the world that Abraham had. And yet, we are Bnei Abraham, or Benot Abraham, and we are not Bnei or Benot Lot. We are the children of Abraham, and we are not the children of Lot. So what happened? What was so different between Abraham and Lot that one succeeded, but the other didn't? Well, let's fast forward a little bit. There is a time where they were together, Abraham and Lot. And up to that point, everything was great. But I don't know if you remember this episode when the shepherds of one started to fight with the shepherd of the other because they were competing for the same land. And then they got together and said, well, hey, we don't have to fight. Let's say, you go that way, I'm going that way. No problem. Lot decided to go to the city of Sodom. And we all know what the city of Sodom represents. But Abraham went to a different place. So what happened is that they continued their own lives. And eventually, their vision, or the commitment with the vision was tested. When was that tested? When the three angels came to tell Abraham that he was going to be a father. He was going to be father of Isaac. The angels came to visit, and what happened when they entered to Abraham's house? I don't know if you remember. Abraham ran, even actually was right after the circumcision, to welcome them, but he wasn't alone. It says there that he involved his entire family, not only his family, his servants as well, to welcome these three angels. They didn't know that they were angels, by the way. They presented like human beings. So it's amazing, because Abraham, I guess he could have done it himself, but he decided to involve his entire family. So now, all of a sudden, they were all working together towards developing this value of hospitality. You could say that they created a community based on this important value. And it was great. They treated these three strangers like their own family. They fed them, and they allowed them to rest. What happened with Lot? But similar things. After the three angels came to give the message to Abraham, two of them have to go to Sodom and Gomorrah, remember, to destroy the city. And actually the Midrash said one of the angels was there to destroy the city, the other one was to help Lot and his family escape the city before the destruction. So what happened when they come to visit Lot? Did Lot actually show the same value of hospitality than Abraham showed? Of course he did. Of course he did. He also welcomed these two people. So you would say, but so what's the difference between Abraham and Lot? That Lot did it alone. You could ask, where was Lot's family? We don't read about them, that they were there with their father welcoming these two people. Where was Lot's community? He was alone. And of course, he still had the same beliefs, but he couldn't create, or he couldn't join a community of people who thought like him, so they could actually strengthen each other and support each other, keep each other strong to remain committed to those wonderful values. So, yeah, you could say that Lot was a good person. He expressed the value of hospitality and many others. But all that ended with him. He didn't continue with anybody. He was not able to share all those values. And that's why we are Bnei Benot Abraham and not Bnei Benot Lot. Because we learn now from Abraham that the only way, the only chance we have to succeed in the right here, right now, I'm not talking about the afterlife, what we do in this world, the only chance we have to do all this wonderful thing, but to remain strong and to keep doing it in the long run, is to be sure that we are surrounded by people that they can uplift us, that they can strengthen us, that they can encourage us to keep moving forward. And I'm saying this because this Shabbat is a special Shabbat. We have a group of people that just joined the Jewish people. All the graduates from the Choosing Judaism class 2021-2022. And I had the chance to get to know each one of you. And I know that you have great things. You want to contribute so desperately to the Jewish people and to do great things and to leave your mark in this generation. But let me tell you, you can't do it alone. That's not the Jewish way. The Jewish way is we do it together as a community. And you are joining an amazing family here at the Shari Zedek. A family that is going to not only welcome you, but to encourage you and to help you to remain strong in your faith, strong in your values, strong on your vision. And this is what the amazing thing of welcoming people into a family so we can all feel that we belong together and we can all strengthen each other.